Good morning, Vietnam. It's Vince, the RIZ, doing the morning headlines together. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be going over the daily news, the New York Times. We're going to do a scratch off, and we're going to start with the weather. Okay, weather today in New York. You know what today is, Thursday, May 8th, 2025. Weather today, New York.
Today's forecast for New York is 75 degrees and mostly cloudy.
So right now we got mostly cloudy, precipitation 10%, humidity 67%, wind is 2 miles an hour. It's a boat day, baby. About 9 a.m. we're going to hit 67, 10 a.m. 70 degrees, 1 p.m. 75, 3 p.m. we'll get a little more showers in the late afternoon, and we're going to have a nice cool night and maybe a little rain overnight. Friday we're looking like rain all day. Geez Louise, get your umbrellas. Same thing on Saturday. Sunday's looking party, baby. Let's get into it. Every day is a beautiful day. We're grateful for all that we have. We're thankful for all that we have. Man, when I do that, and I say that every day, I feel my day is a better day, you know. I feel like I have what I need. God gives me what I need. Okay, here we go. New York's hometown newspaper, Knicks down 20, come back again. Stunned Celtics in Boston 91-90 to take 2-0 lead back to the Garden. See Sports. Slain as he mourns pal. Teens gunned down days apart on Brooklyn streets. What the? Iraq is coming to New York City. Tamari Cameron, we read about him yesterday, 17, lit candle at a memorial for a slain best friend, Javon Johnny, 18, in set. Was then fatally shot himself in Flatbush 2 days after Johnny was killed in Coney Island. These guys are friggin' hunting each other, these kids. See Inside, NYDN, Higher Ed Guide, advice for information to help your college journey. Okay. LIRR, Amtrak fouled up again. Delays trains weeks before planned tunnel work. Long Island Railroad commuters delayed Wednesday morning after an Amtrak work crew damaged the section. Medical malpractice in the tunnels. Cardinals on Wednesday, prior to the first day of conclave in Sistine Chapel to select new pope. Please God. Below, black smoke rises later in the day, indicating the Cardinals did not reach a consensus on Pope Francis' successor. What did everybody think of Pope Francis? He did some unique things, went a little bit away from the Bible. I thought I heard a little blasphemy, all gods are the same. I've heard a lot of people say that before, but never the Pope. They must need some new customers. I knew there was a problem with the church when they wouldn't do an outdoor communion during COVID. I said, they love this shit. They love victims. Get in here. Put your sparkle masks on and your plastic shields. Embarrassing. I refused. Black smoke was seen arising from the chimney above the Sistine Chapel, 9 p.m. local time, with signaling 1.4 billion Catholics that the election of the new pope continues. Oh, they got just like Groundhog's Day, huh? Mass for the election of the Roman Pontiff, presided over by Giovanni Cardinal Battista. Has anybody heard of Bishop Mari Mari? Guy's incredible speaker. Vigano, we like Vigano. How come Vigano's not in the running? Sorry, Eric. No 4 million for you. Man, they got to stop taking these pictures up close to people. Look at the detail in these pictures. Christ. Back up. Campaign Finance Board says KO knockout of indictment didn't change its view. He likely engaged in violation of laws. He probably did. You crossed the gray line, fall guy. New York City's Campaign Finance Board is sticking to its guns and denying Mayor Adams more than $4 million in public matched funds for his re-election run. What? Yeah, come back again. We need you again. I can go to Al Sharpton's office your third day in and tell us we have a problem with white supremacy. All black leaders. That's hysterical. The matching funds program uses public cash to match any donation mayoral candidates receive from a city resident. 8-to-1 ratio. That calculation can provide for critical cash infusion. Longtime Adams Aid fundraising once more by Chris Sommerfeld and Josephine Stratman. Brianna Suggs, longtime aide mayor, is back in her old job fundraising. Cops bust dozens in Columbia chaos. School president calls in NYPD to clear out 100 pro-Palestinian protesters who take over library. Is this recent? Is this today? Columbia University guards removed pro-Palestinian Wednesday. That's yesterday. Later, NYPD officers were called to finish the job. Well, freedom of speech. You got it. Arrests were underway late Wednesday. NYPD moved in to clear about 100 I wonder if they were paid protesters. You see a lot of that going on. Several hours into a protest, acting President Claire Shipman, another female, acting President Claire Shipman, authorized NYPD to enter the campus. Wow, you need authorization to enter the campus. I wonder if that's the same during a tragedy. Mayor Adams condemned the protest by making a plea to their parents. Parents, if your children are going to Columbia campus and participate, I think you should reach out to them. You can be mixing in with the wrong crowd. You don't know who you know. That's you got to tread lightly. If you like if you're so happy about Hamas and Houthis and Yemen's poisoning your kids, we got that going on right here in New York. You want to protest something, protest all the drugs being sold in all these bodegas. 17-year-old gunman gunned down. You get thousands of stores all over New York selling drugs to our kids, posted up next to every school, every church. They come here from another country where if they sold a pot seed, they would have their arm chopped off. And then they open up stores on the corner in the middle of our communities, and nobody says anything. Everyone just lets their kids go in there. Okay. Here we're back to this kid, Tamari Cameron, fatally shot in Flatbush. The last his family heard from Tamari, he was heading to Flatbush with friends by his aunt Astasia Carter, 30, told Daily News, very full of life, always joking. Everything's a game until they get you. He did everything for the family. He was just a good kid. He actually was supposed to start working. I was a good kid too, but I hung around the wrong places, the wrong people. You're a good kid doing bad things, hanging out with people that you don't belong around. If that's what they're doing. And this is what's happening. Sometimes you gotta forego your prayers and miss the funeral when you know that there's going to be retaliation. New fatal crash images show copter breaking apart midair over Hudson River. Federal officials released new images Wednesday showing a helicopter that crashed the Hudson River last month. The NTSB said previously the aircraft was operated by tour company New York Helicopter. Johnson, a 36-year-old former Navy SEAL. Love you guys. Thank you. Sorry. Appreciate all you've done for us. Our true heroes. Armed services. The real men. He lodged over 800 hours of flight time. What do we have? We have a defective copter. Broke apart in the air. I'm sure he didn't do that with his hands, right? What do you do? Put the propellers in different directions? Less than 18 minutes into the flight, witnesses saw the tail and main rotor breaking away. We'll investigate that. NYPD ex big guilty in off-duty drunk driving accident cover-up. Oops, somebody tried to help him out. Former NYPD Deputy Inspector Paul Zangrilli, 44, had been terminated from his high-ranking post 18 days before he could retire. Oh, Jesus Christ. This guy's family. Prosecutors say Zangrilli, Italian guy must be maybe, betrayed his badge. Come on. When he tried to cover up an August 16 crash. So everything this guy said, you are not the sum of this era here. Binge drinking. I'm sorry, buddy. Just takes a moment to wipe away all your years of hard work. Uwa Sokola, next story, sister of Harvey Weinstein, accuser Kaja Sokola arrives in Manhattan court. This guy's still going. There's some new thing with Candace Owen. I'm a big fan of her show. Sometimes I think she's a... Man, babe, take it easy, Candace. Sometimes you're going to give yourself a heart attack. But Candace Owens is on that and says that this guy might have been a disgusting bastard, but he had some stuff pinned against him and some unfair reporting. World Trade Health rebound. 9/11 program staffers are rehired after bipartisan outcry. Federal workers who helped run the health program for September 11 first responders survivors have been rehired after a bipartisan outcry forced the Trump administration. Forced. See, like, did they force them or did they just speak about it? Reverse deep cuts. Although almost all the estimated 16 fire World Trade Health Program workers have been told this week they are being reinstated. That's great news. We lost our people on that day. I remember that day. Do you remember where you were on 9/11? Never forget, baby. When you forget, that's how this happens again. And it looks like we forgot. I'm still praying to God we don't get an October 7th here, right on our territory. Remember, the people that we're going with, we're simple people here sometimes. We just want to go to work, take care of our families, and other people have these 1,000-year plans. 4 years, they go along with the plan. Next administration comes in, and they take a little bit more ground. Take a little bit more ground. You know, we really need to protect our country and our ways and our values, or, you know, you can see that easily change. Look at the birth rates. All you women out there, start making babies. You're saying you don't want to make babies? Are you a good person? Was your father a good person? Do you want more good people? You know, there's a spiritual battle going on in the world. Good versus evil. And don't leave my kids here alone. Help us out. Make some more babies. You're beautiful people. I want to see more of you. Okay? Threatening emails are sent to offices of 3 city politicians. Not that, you know, a maniac, maybe, or a frustrated citizen threats to 3 city, who are they? Cops are alerted. 3 separate incidents. Okay. The first incident was reported to police. Please. Oh, that there was a bomb planted in the bathroom stall. Another bomb planted in a mail collection area. They're calling them bomb threats. That's annoying when you're trying to work. We got a Windows inside in here. Windows Depot has an offering going, $2,000 off after they raised the price 4. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're a good company. Anybody knows about them, post in the comments. This young fella, NYPD recruit Robert Castiglione. We got another Italian in the force, following several. Used to be all Irish, the force. Now we're getting our Arabs in there and our Chinese. We're really mixing it up in there. I hope we stay away from the DEI highs. I don't care about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's beautiful. Okay. Following several of his family members into law enforcement, such as late dad Robert Castiglione, Inset Wright, and the cousin NYPD of Kevin Gillespie, who was killed in the line of duty in 1996. Thank you, fellas. Signing across for you. Thank you for all you do. Without you, our sisters and mothers would be getting raped in the streets. Law enforcement is not just another job. NYPD recruit Robert Castiglione. It's a family business. Oh, the hair on my arm stands up for guys like that. Deadly NY flu season. Jesus. 25 children in the state of record succumbed to the virus. What? New York children have been affected particularly hard by influenza this season, with 25 pediatric deaths. How many pediatric deaths do we get every year? I'd like to know. There's a state record. Let's see. Deadly New York children have been affected. Deadly New York flu season. Let's go to ChatGPT. If you don't have ChatGPT, you're falling behind, ladies and gentlemen. You're falling behind. How many children die each year in New York City of influenza or the flu? Searching. Fact checking. Real time. 10 pediatric deaths due to influenza. Department of Health statewide experienced a total of 25 influenza. 25 children. They're backing it up. They're backing it up. That means that more than half of New York counties, at least 32 of 60, are reporting increased sustained levels of lab confirmed cases of the flu. Your stories are headlines, daily news. We're doing that for you today. Harlem Schumberg Center turns 100. Exhibit at institution that began 135th. Going back to this, I don't know what could lead to that, but we did have a series of vaccinations going on that we never had before. So, hey, there we go. I don't know. That's something new. Harlem Schumberg Center turns 100. Exhibit at the institution that began 135th Street. Library branch celebrates black culture as supporters fear attacks on DEI. Of course there's fucking attacks on DEI. Do you want someone DEI making your medicine? DEI is your doctor? Please, what is it? Anybody see the movie Idiocracy? Great movie. I've been going to Schumberg since the 70s. I was a college student looking into black history. Great. Not history in general, but okay, you're focused. The cultural critic and author Nelson George, several of my books used the library as a central source. And this day, okay, the center's year-long celebration. A year-long celebration. Who's paying for it? Okay, Schumberg. I like the mustache. Shummy. NYD reports crime drop. That's what happens when the cops don't get out of the car. I bet your friggin' parking tickets are up, and all other tickets are up. Street cam tickets are up, right? But crime is down. Yeah, right? They're just running amok on... The cops just don't arrest people anymore. They lost their will to do the job. I got into an issue with a kid. He called me a white motherfucker. The first thing the cops said to me was, "That's not a hate crime." I said, "I never said that was a hate crime. It's not a hate crime." I said, wow. This stuff comes from the top down. When you don't see your police officers out there doing their job, that's because they're getting the orders from the top down. When you see the police letting things go like bodegas, sell drugs out of them, but then they want to grab you and write you a driving in the bus lane ticket. Meanwhile, this guy's selling drugs to your kids with a sign that says candy and fake cigarettes, right? But that's okay. They'll walk right past that store. I like to see a health program go into effect for our NYPD. I was in the police station the other day. I don't know. They were looking like some of them looking like beanbags. You sit in the car all day, that could happen, but we need to help them out. Albany's editorial. Albany's Chamber of Secrets. New York legislation always lives up to poor reputation. The personalities change from year to year, but the behavior never does. Culture. Targeting troops. The U.S. Supreme Court, which is supposed to protect our liberties, is failing in its duty, allowing the Trump administration to ban from the U.S. Armed Forces transgender. Targeting troops. Nobody's targeting troops. Not targeting anybody. Tightening up. The troops are there, and the armed forces have for lethalness, not anything else. So if the most lethal people are women, then frig them. If the most lethal people are 7-foot men, then them. Forget about people that spend the majority of their time enlisted in the hospital. We don't need that. We could help them another way. New York just betrayed Hasidic children. Says who? Beatrice Weber. Okay, Beatrice. Why? New York State legislature is passing a bill to dilute and delay the implementation of educational standards at yeshivas. You complain about the Jews and how smart they were. Now you're mad that they're going to take away their own grade levels to show that they're up to date with the states. At 16, my parents pulled me out of school. I was devastated and tried to enlist the help of my rabbis and others to support my desire to finish school instead of help. I was met with my parents knew what was best, and in the back of my mind, I always believed that if outsiders had known, someone would have stopped it. So you want us to step into your religion, who has the lowest crime rate, the best statistical marriage numbers, and we should jump in there. You know when we should jump in? When you're raping and killing each other. That's when we jump in. This week's events have proven me wrong. Leaders everywhere are willing to overlook the well-being of our children. Those children look just fine. They haven't friggin' tended them. The Hasidics, the Yiddish. I like them. Mind their own businesses, do their best. I like them. So far, so good. Okay. These regulations were rooted in a century-old law guarantee every child in New York an education enables them to function in modern society. Modern society. Yeah, who needs modern? I need my wife at home. She's out working for another guy right now. That's her boss. He pays her more. Okay, let's keep going. Trump again in the cartoon. They're going to, again, non-flattering photo. Fix these delays at Newark before they affect deportations. Yeah, right. No. We're not worried about the delays. This is very humorous. We're worried about people dying because the air traffic controllers are unqualified. V.E. Day, 80 years later, learned the enduring lesson. In the midst of Russia's brutal war against Ukraine and a new U.S.-Ukraine trade deal on mineral rights, we mark the 80th anniversary end of World War II in Europe. Whose father was in World War II? My grandpappy was. My great-grandfather was. They were both prisoners of war. One starting from Mussolini and ending in the United Allied Forces. My family. Victory reflected determination to end the war in Europe on their terms rather than compromise with Nazi leaders. We hear a lot of those people got away into Argentina and other countries. I wonder if they ever really got Hitler. I know they got Mussolini, I think. They had him hung in the Times Square. It's in front of everybody. It's a victory of the great British nation as a whole. In America, where flags were still flying at half-staff in honor of President Franklin Roosevelt, who had died April 12th. Was he a Taurus? No, he wasn't born of that. Offices and factories gave their workers the day off. That night, 250,000 people crowded into Times Square. I love it. Patriotism. Mills is the author of Winning the Peace, the Marshall Plan, and the America's Coming of the Age of a Superpower. He is a professor in literature of Sarah Lawrence College. Never heard of it. Through the Marshall Plan, America delivered more than $13 billion in economic and more than $140 billion in today's dollars to war-torn Western Europe in 1948 and through 1951. With the Berlin airlift began June 1948 and continued to the end of September 1949. The treaty with NATO, the United States provided Western Europe with immediate protection from the Soviet Union beginning April 1949. Keep Poles off the Pope and him out of politics. Astoria. I agree with Cardinal Timothy Dolan that the President Trump's AI image of himself as the Pope wasn't good. Well, who cares what you think? It's a joke. The guy is... I like him better than the Pope, actually. I didn't like some of the things the Pope did. I mean, I'm just going off the Bible. I'm trying to stick to my Bible. I have a tough time finding the Bible as it is. This guy wants to start changing things. So now me and my kids have different rules. So they got different rules to being a good Catholic than I do. I'm going Christian. I'm non-denominational. I'm individual. Me and the people, baby. We pray together. I'm stepping outside the church. I'll join you because I love the people in the congregation. I love the priests trying to do the right thing. But overall, once you put people together, I don't know, this archdiocese has got some weaknesses, obviously. However, why didn't Dolan and others in American Catholic hierarchy speak out when Pope Francis irresponsibly lashed out and criticized President Kennedy Trump? There you go. Stepped in the ring. Returning from a trip to Mexico during his visit with the boy. Oh, yeah, he's got a big... No one knows the Papal City probably has the biggest wall around it and the highest protection. And then, they want to come in and tell us no walls. Don't protect yourself. Hands down. Yeah, I'm not doing that. We got some, I don't know what this stuff is right here. Daily news springs into savings. Well, I just saved you $4. Read the paper to you. Not in our Brooklyn backyard. Anti-shelter protesters cry. Brooklyn, you don't want your homeless people? I thought you people, you are all liberals. Protesters outside City Hall on Wednesday made clear their disdain for plans to build a shelter for homeless families on Cole Street in Sheepshead Bay. Okay. Fake cops target hot dog cart. Grab 2 francs. All right. They call that armed robbery. A pair of phony cops pulled up to a hot dog heist from a Times Square food vendor. How the hell does this wind up in the paste? How did they find out? Cops took a man because he followed the heist and are looking for a second person dressed in a red hoodie and black pants. That should go well. Incident comes in the wake of other attacks on vendors, including a shooting on a vendor, Emmanuel Charles, 21. Fought for his life for a hot dog. Egyptian immigrant. These guys make big money, these hot dog guys, but geez, they got a real deal with the public here. Making a movie, transferring colleges and purposes and confidence. Higher ed guide. Another paid advertorial. Successful college transfer journey. Putting your best foot forward, building a strong application, knowing the rules, planning ahead, managing the transition. Do the homework. Research the right college for you. I think everybody should start off in a training program in the field that they're looking to go in. You go to school for 4 years to figure out you don't want to do something, become a lobotomist, to take blood, realize you don't like blood after you paid for a course. How to plan for college expenses. Yeah, stop eating. It's the best way to save money. Seek aid each year. Read and compare financial aid award letters carefully. Consider appealing. Yeah, everyone loves an arguer. Look for outside assistance. Explore private student loans. I just with one of my friends yesterday, 60 years old, is still on the hook for his kids' college loans. Embracing the change, growth through transition, facing challenges with confidence. You're gonna know you're gonna get through it. Look at all the people older than you still alive. Nobody died. You're going to college, unless you go to a Palestinian protest. You might. Owning your own story, celebrating the journey. City Tech advertising. Papers long today. New York Institute of Technology, the place for doers, makers, innovators. I guess they're from, again, this is all advertorials. Join the upcoming events. There's a place for you in New York Tech. Crushing SAT, ACT, your last minute prep guide. Review your notes. Don't overdo it. Get your stuff together. Relax and de-stress. Visualize to eat a healthier dinner. Review test day logics. Set a bedtime and stick to it. Relax and unwind before bed. Visualize. Get rid of that phone before you go to bed. Sweet dreams and good luck. Higher education guides, second Thursday of every month. When you graduate, they graduate. That is true, because when you do something, you show your kids that this can happen. It becomes real to them. I'm a believer in that, and I thank my dad for the examples that he set for me as an individual learning disabilities, and still persistence will and consistency, and effort and repetition can outperform talent. Okay. Oh, today in the afternoon, high of 73. We did this already. We'll review the weather again. Friday, cooler with chances of rain. Saturday and Sunday going to be nice. Sunday going to be a high of 80. Cool in the shade. You have those days where it's 57 in the shade. Newton, 71, high of 71. White Plains with a high of 71. Bridgeport, New Haven, Montauk, Riverhead, Deer Park, New York City, all in the 70s. New Brunswick, 76 today. Sandy Hook getting a little cool weather off at the edge here. Winds rolling in from the east. Long Branch, 67, cooler on the shore. A little cool spot here. Okay. The history of horse racing. That's what I need to know about. Let's go through the horoscope real quick, everybody. We're going to start with Aries, March 21st to April 19th, coming close to me. I might have a little Aries in me. Let's give it a... You might be aware that someone else thinks you're hot. Enjoy it, but be careful. If your fan starts talking about specific things they want from you, you may not want to commit to something you can't deliver. Taurus, that's me. Grounding yourself, yes, with daily routines. I don't know how they do that. Today I started a new daily routine. Could be more comforting. Yes, routines are comforting. Get yourself a routine. That's how you become successful with anything you want. I did my first muscle up this week after 4 years of practicing. A muscle up, that's where you do a pull up and over the bar and push up. It took me 4 years to do that. And I learned something from accomplishing that. 4 years. 4 years to do an exercise. Incredible. And I still don't have it down pat right. Gemini, May 20th to June 20th. If you didn't know your sign, you're longing for approval from peers. It could help you to remember, if you're trying to impress, people are ultimately made up of individuals who each have unique preferences. Find someone to connect one-on-one. Cancer, you're in June 21st to July 22nd. A leader you respect can probably hold your attention. You're dynamic with this person. That would certainly give you a sense of purpose. I think purpose is important. I'm looking for one. Letting a look, Leo, July 22nd to that's June. I don't know. Letting a conversation roam freely can reveal surprising insights. Don't rush people in the conversation. Let people talk freely. Wait your turn. Listen to what people are saying. Notice a lot of times in conversation, people are just waiting their turn to speak. They really don't acknowledge what the other person said. And one way to show people you acknowledge what they said is repeat back to them what they said. Oh, you went down to the shore this weekend. Sounds like a good time. Then go into your story. Dad, you're a Leo. You like to do that. Virgo, August 23rd to September 23rd. Getting taken advantage of could happen. I wish I was a Virgo. No matter how appealing their confidence seems, it may all be merely bluster. Yup. Most of the time it is. We got some crossword puzzles and Sudoku. Find 5 differences. I always like that. Wow, that looks like a hard one. They got cheesy with that one. Raindrops everywhere. I'm not playing that one. We're going to do some cartoons today and take the edge off. Let's get focused. Zits. I've been thinking now would be a good time to start looking for a summer job. Agree. Looks like he's talking to his teenager. Heads up, Dad wants a summer job. That's cute. Kids are funny. Next, we're going to go to Jumpstart cartoon. Dexter, what happened? You're slouching again. I was a one-hit wonder, Sonny. Nonsense! You can get another A+ anytime you want one. You just have to put your mind to it. I was the talk of the teacher's lounge. It was Woodstock. All right, I didn't get that. Hagar the Horrible. I accepted an invitation to dinner with a cousin and his family, and now I'm dreading it. Look on the bright side. The more you dread it, the happier you'll be when you cancel. It's true. Mother Goose and Grimm. I hate being a golf widow. To Bernie. I'd rather be his real widow. Yeah, I know. People say that a lot. Hope she's kidding. One big happy. Joe, I don't want to play Pirates. Oh, come on, Ruthie. I don't get it. Why are Pirates Pirates anyway? Because they are. That was cute. Pooch Cafe. You got to get that psycho killer's tail removed, Poncho. But when I had this one transplanted on, I donated my original. Never signed the back of your license. I'm not donating anything. They kill faster to kill you, maybe. Someone else might have it now. Let's get to the transplant ward immediately. I suddenly missed my old tail terribly. Wow. Was that the psycho tail or just regular Poncho? Let's not devil into it. All right. I guess you struggle to come up with something funny every day. Red and Rover. Crunch, crunch, crunch. He's eating cereal. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Grr, crunch, grr, crunch, grr, crunch. Oh, then he starts feeding it to the dog. Okay. The Argyle sweater. What a great party. Well, you know what they say. Time's fun when you're having flies. Play on words. Okay. Daily news going into thing. Higher education. Where's sports? We did the whole paper? No sports today? We did all those. Let's see. Well, that was the daily news. Oh, we got the sports still. Here we go. Perfect job is waiting. Career tried out hub. Okay. Classifieds. Help wanted. Help wanted general real estate. Rooms for rent in Jamaica. Got a room available in Jamaica, Queens. Merchandise, orchage, legal notices, crossword puzzle, foreclosures. A couple of those going on. Your perfect hire is waiting. Oh, we're in the sports, gentlemen. Nick's dialed in with right numbers. Deja vu. 2, just like in the opener, Nick stormed back from 20 down, end with Bridges stopping a full court chuck. Mikal Bridges let the ball fly after the game-ending steal against Celtics forward Jason Tatum. By Kristen Winfield. She at least got a picture of her. Maybe the Knicks need to spot the Celtics 20 points at the opening tip. That's not nice. Knicks 21, Celtics 90. Well, I don't know why. They only won by 1. Maybe just spot them 1. I wonder what the spread was, fellas. Curry to miss at least 1 week with hamstring strain. Steph Curry out with a hamstring strain. There goes 40 points in the game. Pacers already put scare into the Cavs. The Knicks come from behind victory over Celtics in Game 1. Stunned the sports world. Really? Why? Transition period over. Knicks settle right on time. All aboard. Cat's Eye. I guess she's the by Peter Slime. We got some Peter. Looking at these. What we got here? Mitch, best trade Knicks ever made. Kristen Winfield's back. She's a sports writer. Mitchell Robinson didn't care. At least that's what he said. Swirling rumors ahead of 2025 trade deadline. No effect on his mental state. What does he care? He's getting paid, right? Nah, not really, he said Wednesday. I really don't pay attention because honestly, I don't care. Keep that guy away from the microphone. Whether he truly cared was secondary. Okay, the Knicks kept him. I stay in my own world. Whatever happens, happens, Robinson said. I just go with the flow. All right, maybe he was friend Bruce Lee. Yanks number 2 prospect Jones. Yanks sack Pods in 10. Escara ends it with pitch, hit, fly. Oop, they dumped the water on the Gatorade. Gets dunked after his game-ending ball gives Yanks victory over Padres. Hours before the Yankees-Padres for a rubber match at the Yankee Stadium, Aaron Boone took a question from his team Leading offense. We've got a lot of firepower, the manager said. Yankees won 4-3. Hampered by injury to the ribs. Progress for Stanton. Not one, but two for Soto. Pair of homers lift Mets to win. Mets last time I think they won the World Series, 1986. Do you remember where you were? Give a reason to believe he's about to heat up. Soto also satisfied when he doesn't hit him out of the park. Sandy, what do we got here? Boys steal one. Dallas grabs wide receiver Pickens and deal with Pittsburgh. Dallas Cowboys raise eyebrows when they left last month's NFL draft without selecting a wide receiver, but it didn't take much longer for Dallas to fill the need. Through a blockbuster trade, Cowboys acquired George Pickens. If you said to me right now, I bet you $1 million, name one football player, one hockey player, I could not do it. Money gone. Never been to Gallagher's. Gallagher's is doing free lunch 12 to 3 with the purchase of a drink. All right, there you go. Getting smart. I recommend that. I had a buddy who drove cars. He went to somewhere in Florida every day for lunch, and he would complain that they would get the free lunch, but that they should have made him purchase a drink with that. Present this ad for your second drink. I'm getting hungry. Grand opening May 15th, 2025 at our all-new renovated Lace Gentlemen's Club. Wicked Pitches contract star Jessica Drake. Who's treating? Boy, I can't do it, fellas. I cannot do it. You're on your own with that stuff. I'm not doing these playoffs and sports calendars. You know, I can't do it. But we do have the Yankees, the Mets, and the Knicks all playing this week. Daily News, Mikhail defense seals deal again as Knicks rally from 20 down again to beat Celtics, return to Garden to up. Too good to be true. That's the end of that paper. I want you guys to subscribe if you like the way I read the paper. You think I'm doing it with a little RIZ. Okay? We're going to do another video right now. We're going to do the New York Times left. Jump back in. Watch my next video. We're going to do a Win for Life scratch off and see if we win that too. All right? Thanks for joining us. Hey, a word from our sponsors real quick. If you're in Staten Island or Manhattan, you want to try Justino's Pizza. Right now also we had Best Slice of the Week at Town Deli, Arthur Kill, down in Tottenville, South Shore, Staten Island. You got to go for their chicken cutlet pie with garlic and oil. It's really good. Okay. We're also featuring Mark Panavecchia, personal injury attorney, New York, Florida, Texas, and Arizona. Tomorrow we'll have some more sponsors with shout outs. All I get is a free meal and a hug. If you want to come and give me a hug, get me out a free meal, I'll throw a shout out to you on the podcast. Really, I'm just doing this to find my niche and grow my crowd. I'd like to do some hosting, comedy. I'd like to come out to your business and do an exciting review on some of your top three items. Or invite me down, hit me up in the comments, reach out to me. I'll be setting up some ways for you to reach out to me so I could do some promo stuff. Could use the gigs. I'm enjoying it. And plus I want to have some people on the podcast. If you want to come in and do the paper with me, comment on some of the stuff in the paper, take turns with me, come on down. I could use the company. Subscribe, like, all that bullshit. Okay?